And, I mean, I'm with Donna, but I'm doing the
Because you're
technology.
good.
Yeah, okay. But yes,
And you
Laura
are.
suggested.
By the way.
Thank you.
No,
Laura
you're
really thinks that there should be a team, like either a person or maybe.
A robot?
Yeah, AI, does that help?
Because we already have a little bit of an AI. Okay, so that's funny. We're not hearing anything.
No, and we're not recording right now.
Donna Jones entered
Well,
the meeting.
Okay.
We have to
Can-
admit
can
her.
Close that first, Laura, just close that.
Right, but why are we not?
Okay, well, we are live streaming, so I don't know what.
Yes, but why?
Okay, here we are.
Yes, but
Admit
here's what I
Donna.
don't know. Hi Aisha, can you hear us?
Did click on Donna. And then increase the volume, Laura,
Where do I do that?
at the top of the. No, just the volume on the computer at the top, where the plus, the bar on,
Yeah, the top is not visible to me.
no, not on there, here.
Keyboard.
Yeah, the keyboard. Where's the volume? Right here? Here, it's on E.
There. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then can you make that larger?
make which larger? This?
No,
No.
no, that one. Can you hear us, Donna?
Yes,
Oh,
very clear, very clearly.
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
All right, it is 7:01 and I'm calling the meeting to order. This is the UNNC Executive Committee meeting. And
Let me help you. Stop the share. I have it, Lauren. Yeah, it's right there. I just can't see the corner.
governing board. You want to see it? There.
Okay.
All righty.
You to share.
And here's our agenda
so,
as we slowly scroll through.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, we're gonna scroll through our agenda. We are gonna have public comments, executive reports, secretary, treasurer. Oh, we're not gonna have a treasurer's report.
oh, well,
Do you have one?
I have a, no,
Uh,
yeah, we have a
Vice-
tiny one.
president. Then we have funding requests, tree care LA, and movies in the park. Committee reports, planning and zoning, public safety, outreach, environment, and others, and if there are any others. Old business, agenda for next governing board, items, and adjourn. Any questions? All right, is the agenda accepted? Show of hands. Thank you. All right, yes.
Okay, thank you, Paula. So this is a different format for me. So as president, you're also going to run the executive committee?
No, I am today because Laura
We're trying to
is
still figure out
doing
who's
that,
running
and
what.
we're
okay.
still,
Oh, okay, working on it. Okay.
yeah, we're still working
transitioning.
it out.
Like there's a vice president's report that I have no knowledge to give,
Okay,
for example.
but I do,
Yes.
I understand. Okay.
because that was the job I just had, so I figured that. Are there any general comments? Okay,
Well,
yes,
a reminder, this is really Teresa's reminder, but a reminder that there's a movies in the park on
yes,
this Friday.
yeah,
One by CD10, Puss in Boots, the most recent Puss in Boots, is here at the Benny Potter,
oh, park, right here
well,
in the
Benny
corner.
H. Potter West Adams Avenue's Memorial Park Annex is where the movie is. And there happen to be two other nearby movies in the park that are, one of them's almost walkable for our stakeholders. The Transylvania Hotel, most recent movie, is at Leslie Shaw on Friday night.
Leslie Shaw,
I
Lauren
have-
Miller.
Lauren Miller,
I
excuse
guess,
me.
Yeah.
And then at 39th and Western at the MLK, Martin Luther King Recreation Center,
Yes,
is Mario Brothers.
yes, Super Mario.
They just said today that that's going to be now Black Panther. I don't know if it was a lack of being able to get The Super Mario Brothers just was in the
came out.
theater.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's what I read.
Oh, well,
Okay.
I'm not,
Admissive about
I
it.
cannot send a correction.
No, no worries.
Cannot
I'll put on there one or two.
And Black
And
Panther is a good enough movie. So
Yeah,
anybody gets to
all
see
of them.
I think what I saw was just parents needing to not take little kids. That was
Oh.
yeah, it was the buzz in the neighborhood. with
Black Panther.
Yeah. It's a great movie, but for little kids, they
Not
were
so much. They should
yeah.
go
Yeah.
to Puss in Boots,
Yeah.
although that has some erotic jokes.
Free
so-
is free is always good.
Okay.
All right, so then we are gonna get into our reports and we start off with the secretary's report.
Yes.
Do you need me to share? Or do you want to be a co-host? No, you can't be a co-host.
I mean, I can if I join, but it should be right in the folder.
Yeah, it is.
Why don't you go?
Oh, I said, I understand. I'll undo what I just did.
There's Candace.
Okay, so everybody please forgive us. Still trying, okay, I'm forgetting how to find these things.
Just go to the yellow folder
Mhm.
and then go into documents. Oh, yeah, whatever one is there. I'll go to documents and go to executive committee. And then July. And then,
Right there.
right, double click.
Oh,
And now you can share.
share to Zoom. Hi, Candace.
You know what I just realized? We're all female executive.
Yes.
Oh, that's
cool.
When I walked in, it was like, no guys.
No, guys, okay.
All right, so these are the minutes from last month's executive committee meeting. We had our usual welcome and call to order, approval of the agenda, a couple general public comments. During our exec committee business, I gave the report of the minutes from the previous meeting. Paul gave the MER report for May, and he presented the admin packet. Let's see. Paula reported on attendance and training. Greg reported on the handbook and his departure and our election of new officers. We had funding requests from Amazing Grace Conservatory and West Adams Jazz and Music Festival. We had committee reports from planning and zoning. A community impact statement. We made people authorized signers for community impact statements. Sorry about that.
Yes.
And then we had a public safety emergency preparedness report, and that was about it.
All right, thank you.
And nonetheless, it went for 2 hours. Okay, I move to approve the minutes.
A second. All in favor, show of hands. Motion passed. All right, so next is treasurer. Candace, are you prepared to, or how can we help you?
Okay, so I was emailing with Paul.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to have a conversation. I don't have Paul's phone number, so I need to be able to call him.
Oh,
Anyway, we're coordinating having a conversation, and then today, he said that he no longer has access to the portal.
Oh,
Right,
they cut him off quick,
they cut him
huh?
off. and that's-
So he was going to walk me through at the end of last week. But I guess they've cut him off. How do you do my Wi-Fi? Is there internet connection?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait a minute, she'll help you.
That's my work.
Teresa, who doesn't call herself techie, but she's our tech.
But she-
She's our tech person.
Oh, we have-
If the lamp is aligned, the one-eyed person is.
Nice, yeah.
So you could take a picture, you could just use it.
Okay, yeah, because my job has a super Wi-Fi that you could hook up like 20 computers at a time. I think I just left it. Yeah, they make sure we can. Yeah, so I talked to Paul. We were supposed to connect. We did not get a chance to connect yet. So I don't know how tight these meetings are for time. But if someone was cool enough to walk me through the stuff while I was here, so I could
Well,
just kind of see.
Unfortunately, we don't have access, only the treasurer has certain.
Can tell the treasurer.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I have access to the portal, but I wouldn't have it here because this computer doesn't know me. And I don't have the password memorized.
How about if you guys do a Zoom? And
Right.
maybe you can share screen and you
Right.
can.
But what I wouldn't even be able to walk her through the pieces that are treasured. I mean, in other words, once I'm in the portal, I can do, for example, credit cards,
Uh-huh.
which the treasurer cannot. I mean, they divide things up. But what's interesting is that just on Thursday, our funding rep, Anna, asked Paul if he would continue to do uploads this month specifically so that he could upload the change of officers, the admin packet, because the clerk won't do it for us.
Oh,
So, well, they cut him off. So.
yeah, so,
And he wouldn't have been able to do it until we actually vote. We didn't vote on the admin packet at the last month. That's gonna be an agenda item to literally say, change the admin packet. We'll have to do another vote. So what this means is you have to do the training and you have to memorize it real fast
Okay.
because they're gonna give you access sort of simultaneously to you uploading the admin packet. I don't know how that
well, and
works.
Paul can still talk you through.
Okay.
Yes, but we were discussing with the clerk, the sort of catch 22, that our new treasurer did not have.
But, and if I could just say the admin packet, I took the class. Many neighborhood councils make adjustments to it throughout the year.
Right.
So we don't have to do it at the next meeting.
We do for the officers, for the financial officers. That's not the budget, but we have to change the officers, the piece of it in the middle.
Okay,
That's the issue. They have to have in effect signature cards on file.
Oh,
Okay.
So just like you have to become a card holder.
yeah.
And it's a separate signature than becoming a signer. So that's what needs to be re-uploaded. And then when we adjust the budget, that we'll do it one more time.
Candace, are you taking the class on July 25th? The funding class? 25th, 26th?
I am not, but I can.
Oh, I thought you sent it.
I did whatever, I thought we did too. It was sent, okay, well,
Okay, but I signed up for it. I was gonna say that if you did too, then maybe when we get off the call, you and I can talk and kind of, share
Compare
notes.
notes.
Yeah, even though I won't have access, the same amount of access that you have,
Mhm.
we can kind of work through it together.
right, and we're just gonna have to let them, the clerk's gonna need to give both of you your passwords before they receive the admin packet. Because there's no way Candace can upload it without her password.
There's okay, so the class on the 25th is during the day?
Let me have my phone, I can check the calendar and see.
Gotcha.
I put it in there.
and Candace, spell your name for me.
CANDICE.
Okay. You are in so many places, CANDACE. And I thought, where did that come from?
From the city clerk's election set,
Oh.
that's what they put.
It's from 6 to 8. That's what I have on my calendar.
Okay, that's
Yes, in the evening of the 25th.
okay. Via Zoom? Or
Well,
in
I get,
person?
you know what, that's a good question. I think it's,
Yeah, I think they're still doing
Is it Zoom or Google Teams?
I don't know.
Oh, on Teams.
But I think Laura.
I think it was Zoom.
But it's not in person.
No, it's not in person. But Laura sent that to both of us, I believe, Candace.
Well,
Okay, let me look at
so did the clerk. It's not individually
No,
to
no.
the whole board,
Yeah.
but I will forward, if I didn't, I will forward the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm looking now, so I can sign up for it, so it won't.
Yeah, you just go straight to the clerk's website.
All right, let's move on
Okay,
to the vice
and we
president's
need to remember that
report.
we should also be addressing.
So we'll just push the MER for June to next month, which
Yes,
is not a big deal. Okay,
yes.
making sure.
All right, so,
And I'm sorry, that's something I could have downloaded, but I just didn't even, sorry about it.
in lieu of our VP, I will do the training report, which I forgot to put in the packet. I thought, it's not in there, is it? I don't think I got around to it. So, we have, Raheem has code of conduct coming up this month. I have everything coming up this month. And then we have our new people show king and Christopher Weed, they, none of their showing as training has appeared. Yes, there's a seat right here. Okay. Dennis has July for ethics. Teresa has July for ethics. Now you took two classes.
She sent me her certificate today.
Okay, so you completed
I
that.
finished it.
Okay, yay!
Yes.
Chris Carlson I got to call her. She's, everything expired the end of June.
Correct.
So I need to check with Chris. And then our new person, Christopher Reed, has not, well, at least it hasn't posted any training. So our new people, Christopher and Phil King, have no training posted. So I need to contact them as well.
Well, I guess I need to contact.
That's true. You
Okay.
need to contact them.
And-
So I need to send you this list.
Also, before, the next governing board meeting, if I can recommend that you announce before we take a vote, who's eligible to vote or
Oh.
not.
Good
So
idea.
we know beforehand, so Sarah.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Every single new person, because the board meeting is on the 3rd of August, will have to have taken at least the code of conduct, because they have 30 days on done policy,
Mhm.
right? And then face suspension real quick.
So 30 days from our last governing board meeting.
No, from the 1st of July, because technically,
Okay, so July 1st, so August 3rd,
August 3rd is 2 days too late.
right, so, but what is the procedure for that? And when we
Well,
have
they
the meeting,
wouldn't-
if they have not taken their,
They're
Code of
ineligible. Well, they will face, Dunn will do what it does.
Okay.
They face suspension or suspension warning from the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, but from our end, they cannot vote. They're ineligible.
Mhm.
and you'll identify that before we have the meeting, so
For
Sarah can,
Correct.
won't call on people.
And then in terms of ethics and in terms of funding, I think it's 60 days.
Okay.
But we have gone back and forth for years now about whether a person can vote if
We
they
just
haven't.
uploaded the bylaws, so it's pretty
Should
well
be
laid
there.
out, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I did the training and then I lost my agenda. Okay. So,
Attendance.
now we
Well,
are,
it's
attendance.
And then how do you keep attendance? Because I need that paperwork too.
Yes. Actually, I was gonna email that to you. I
Okay.
just prepared that today. But, I need to get, July's attendance from you. I've asked for that attendance page. You just send that,
Yeah, just working, yeah.
just that last
Here.
page. And, yeah, just last page. So-
Oh, so you just want from the minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can do it.
And then that way we can track. Okay, so
So
that,
Paula, let me ask you this,
Mhm.
on attendance, my inclination, and I don't think we totally addressed this in the bylaws, is it doesn't start over on July 1. It's, if somebody missed 3 meetings in the spring, we're still counting, we're still saying, hey, you need to be in attendance. Is
Yeah.
that your perspective, or do you have a different opinion?
I thought we started over, we got a new board, we have a whole lot of people that left. So I thought, we start from now.
So,
Yeah. this
yeah,
is
no,
the
it's just,
business.
okay, is that our consensus?
Oh, that the
On the
timeline
attendance.
for meeting attendance starts over.
Well,
So
obviously,
if someone has missed the last 3 meetings, let's just say,
Yeah,
then if
it
they
does,
get a bye, because we started over in July, so they can miss an additional 3
Well, I
meetings and
think
not
we-
be there for 6 months.
yeah, I have a little trouble with that, but also I have a little trouble with being too stern because I think it's been difficult
and
with
most,
the coming back in person.
We
most
had
of
a good
our,
turnout in July.
yeah, most
We
of our
did.
people were present and those that were absent were excused. Except for one person.
Was July the swearing in month?
Yes.
Yes.
And Heather had
That
this
makes
there.
sense.
Yes.
No, this was I'm sorry, that was our June governing.
Yeah, July was really good.
Yes, July was, yeah.
No, we
had a
were
very
eking
good-
out to 13
Yes.
for June and May.
Yeah, so we were doing very good.
And so I just know there's a couple of board members that have already had a pattern
Yes,
of missing things.
and I worked for a guy that I used to be like right on, okay, do we do it now? Do we do it now? And he said, if their pattern is to miss, is gonna continue.
That's right.
Don't worry
But
about
starting
it.
over gives everybody a fresh
Just let it happen. And if it becomes a problem, address it then.
Okay.
So that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
So the president's report, that's me. Hey. Greg put together this wonderful UNNC handbook, but it's 100 pages. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with that. I mean, that's something like maybe you print out and you have as a book, but it's not anything I would want to email to anyone because it's 100 pages. But it includes, it says board member packet, and it starts off with a welcome, and it's the history of neighborhood councils, boundary map, bylaws, standing rules, Brown Act, and neighborhood councils, planning 101. That's the agenda, and it's very well put together. So I guess what I'll try to do is print this out. You know, that's the other thing. Even at work, I don't want to print out something that's 100 pages.
Right, see, we used to have the benefit that the council office would do printing of stuff like that for us. I'm not sure, where we are with that. But I am also,
I can ask.
Yeah.
How about that?
so we need to be sure, though, that we have the most current bylaws and the most current standing rules, because we voted on both of those in the last year or so. And the Planning 101 document is woefully out of date, only in that there's so many more laws.
Oh.
So what's in there is not wrong, but there's
So
so
have
much
you looked
sense.
you've looked at what he has?
I haven't, but I don't have to, because John and I spent a huge amount of time
Okay.
last summer updating it,
Okay,
because we did a presentation, and then we're gonna do it again, because we're doing another presentation.
okay.
What the problem with all of this is that if
It lives.
Laura has put up many roadblocks getting this done, because Dolores and Greg were working on it when she was president. And we have the
We have to
bylaws,
go
we have to
forward.
say, we can't postpone it because we.
No, I'm not
You know.
suggesting that, but we have to give them the right bylaws and the
Yeah,
right
well,
standing.
Yes, but what I was talking about,
That's
the planning 101.
No, I'm saying that it wouldn't be terrible to include it. More importantly is, John and I are updating it, because we're probably doing it at the Congress of Neighborhoods, but the real question I have is, shouldn't we be doing it for UNNC too, separately, the updated version? So if there's not a real problem with having the old version, because
No,
nothing
I mean,
is
if
nothing
you're
is
working on the
incorrect.
newest one, we can include it. But at least the handbook we can have for as much as we have. And if we have to leave off planning 101, then we will until it's, it's updated. It's not a problem. It's not what is it, and or.
And it's not a roadblock, really.
No.
It's just,
All right, so moving on to celebration of service. Oh, but before we go through any of that, we have Sandra with us. Sandra, were you going to address the specific?
I'm on the funding one.
funding request.
Oh, right. Oh, you're coming up next for the movies in the park. Okay. Well, welcome. Yes, now I recognize you. So celebration of service for John Arnold, Greg Jackson, Paul King, and Lizzie Moro Misato. I would really like to have something, not necessarily a business meeting, I don't know how that would work, but something just to honor and to say thank you, maybe present them with a certificate from Heather Hutt's office. I don't know. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that, and when would be a good time? It might have to be during a meeting, I don't know if everybody can't get away otherwise, because, that's all we need is one more thing on the calendar. But I wanted to make it not a business thing, I wanted to make it more a social, informal.
Well, do you think we could do it on the night of the next executive committee and do it here? Which informal is it? I mean, in other
Okay.
words, but in the summer before Lizzie's back in school,
school.
and then she wouldn't be able to.
I was thinking like at a restaurant or
Oh.
something like that, I don't know.
I'm up for whatever.
Right.
Is there usually good turnout for things that are just social? Like,
No.
where are you gonna get together and have
No.
happy hour? I'm sorry, that's my job.
Right,
We're happy hour.
Well, I think there's also the
We're gonna start
Brown
increasing the
Act.
attendance.
We have to make sure we,
Right, we have to make it technically
Oh,
it has to be a public meeting.
yeah.
But it doesn't have to
So
be-
you can't just.
but you
yeah,
can-
You
don't
don't
have to
have more than 6 board members
Oh, I did
together.
read that. I did my
Yeah.
training.
We might build a co
It's true.
I mean, listen, we can do whatever we want. We
Not a
have Christmas parties and all the board members are there.
Right.
Yes.
We just choose not to talk about
Business.
Business.
Well, they usually combined, I mean.
That's what they
Yeah,
do,
they-
and then
right.
that way, the expense is kind of covered in there too, if you make it a meeting.
Right,
But-
well, I think this one would have to be a standalone vote. I mean, so I think in August, I don't think we can plan it before the August board meeting, because I think we'll have to vote a budget,
Mm,
right? And that's okay. We just put this on the agenda to vote for the budget. So sometime in August would be nice before
yes,
everyone's back. I mean, before everyone's doing the things that they resigned the board for.
Yeah, because school starts before our exec
right,
meeting.
right.
But it should be when everybody can be at the meeting.
Yes, especially our honorees, John and Greg and Paul and Lizzie, so I need to
Right.
check with them
And
first.
dare I ask, Carlos?
Carlos, didn't he move? I forgot.
No, but he's often in Louisiana.
Yeah,
His work is,
his
but
work,
he
I
hasn't moved, I mean, his house is.
I can ask him.
But my question, because he had been one of the people who missed so many meetings.
Yes.
Is there a reason why,
Yes,
are we
because,
gonna be judgy or just do this? for
no,
the
he
people who left?
resigned because he was missing meetings
I
and,
don't think he resigned,
yes, he did.
okay.
Let me see if I have, oh, I wasn't prepared to talk about Carlos.
Okay, well, my point is, only 4 people left the board?
Well, I was looking at our long-term members, not only 4, just the 4 long-term members.
Okay.
Lizzie and Paul and Greg and John.
Okay,
That's why Carlos was not in there either, but,
got it.
uh,
No, then that makes sense.
So he doesn't matter.
Well,
I mean, for this purpose, we're talking about, let's keep it real.
yeah, and so that's why I wanted to honor them. And when I get my notes on Carlos, I will let you know.
okay.
But I believe, was it his mother was ill?
Something like that.
Yeah, and he took off a lot of time because he was caring for his mother, and then he called him and, well, his term ended, and he said, I'm not gonna, extend because I've got these family issues going on. Okay, so I don't have that
Okay,
information.
and that may well have happened when I was skipping executive meeting.
Okay, so, what do we need to do to have this,
Well, what would you want, I mean, we would just basically need to put on the agenda for August,
okay,
a budget amount
okay,
to vote on,
okay.
and I don't know what that budget amount would be, but we
Okay.
could figure it out before.
And then
before
maybe I'll start,
And then.
with the help of Candace, sourcing out where we, do we want to have it here and bring food in?
Right,
or-
and do we want to have it here on the night of a meeting?
Yes.
Or do we want to have
And have
it
it
somewhere
catered.
else?
Yes.
And it has, if it's not on the night of a meeting, then we have to,
Do it.
we'll have to pay for the use of the facility.
Mhm.
We'll have to register it or make sure that it's available.
Mhm.
But it could
They
be,
have to staff it.
but it could be on the night of any meeting,
Of any meeting.
any of our
The
scheduled,
meetings, that's probably being held here.
We
right?
have 8, and we have 8 meetings. We have 10 with the council district, but 2 of them are HPOC, so any of the other 8 meetings.
Which are held here.
Here.
Oh,
So in
cool.
other words, we've got,
So you're
8
speaking
nights.
of
we
just
have 8
here.
nights here.
Okay, and
So
then
that's
have it
8
paid.
good-
You
that's a
guys are talking about
choice.
a restaurant, right?
I don't know.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I took the training, said here, I'm sending you my stuff, I'm in Porto, good job.
Yeah.
So,
Taking the
on my
training.
former job,
Mhm,
before this one, I used to do fundraising.
mhm.
So I do know that if you call enough places, you can get folks to donate, like restaurants will donate a lot of food and just write it off as like a tax, because we gave to
That's
this
our
nice
girl.
thing.
All
Is
right.
that something that we can do as a board with the
Would that
city?
be okay?
Is it like a
Yeah.
gift? Like, how does that work?
Legally, I mean, I don't know, we're violating it.
I think a big discount is probably easier to justify than a full-fledged
full-
donation.
Right, so I'll give you an example. I worked for a state senator, and I was between his district office and the state office. And so he had a program called the Young Senators.
Mhm.
My job was to solicit free food for them
Mhm.
for every monthly, weekly meeting.
Okay.
So I know for sure Olive Garden gives away food.
Oh, nice.
There's a couple of restaurants that if you call and
Well,
talk to the
El
manager.
Cholo in the
Cheesecake-
past used to.
Right, Cheesecake Factory does it. Like, it just depends. So you just have to call.
Mhm,
Somebody will pick it up. That's fine.
mhm.
But thinking about stuff, if we want to keep it like local, maybe asking, I could do that, like soliciting different folks, say, hey, for UNC, like, I just need a number of people. Say
Okay.
we need food for 20 folks.
Right.
Do you
So-
have gift cards or do you donate? I know Olive Garden has a budget for it.
Right, so what I don't know,
Mhm.
I mean, I do know if we're doing an event, as opposed to food for a meeting, if we're doing an
Yeah.
event, then the food vendor has to have a BTRC, which is the Business Tax Registration Certificate
Okay.
with the city of LA, and they have to have insurance liability, you have to show proof of insurance. So I don't know if that'd be the same requirement even for a donation, having that insurance. Because the insurance is like someone gets really bad food
Oh,
poisoning,
I see.
that they don't, the city doesn't wanna take that liability.
So then that would only be like soliciting maybe chain restaurants that
The
probably
menus.
have those things in place.
Mhm.
Well, right, but big restaurants, I mean, I know that Surface has it, because they were able to provide it when we did our thing there.
Oh, that's
John-
there.
But also the non-restaurant, but Johnny's Grill, he has it because CD10 was able to use him. That's at Washington and 10th, but he's not likely to donate.
No, and I don't want Johnny's, no.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
well, we're not gonna, we won't get down to the menu, but okay.
But
so,
I mean,
we'll start-
we do
I'll
need to have a budget.
Yeah,
We don't have to spend the money, that's
accept
even
free
better.
food? That was the question.
Well, I'll ask Hannah.
I'm pretty
I'll
good at
copy
talking
it.
people in.
no, not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. The $200 that we normally spend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, we just do a budget, if we don't spend it, that's okay.
Okay.
Not voting for it is a little troublesome, trying to vote, after the fact.
Okay, moving on,
And we can't have alcohol.
we have, oh yeah,
It's gonna be a meeting, right?
It's gonna be whatever it is, we can't have
well, we
alcohol.
weren't gonna serve alcohol here.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Got a letter on the end of May. Senior Lead Officer Spiro Roditis will have a retirement celebration. He will retire on August the 1st after 27 years of service. We respectfully requested a certificate or letter of recognition from your office in recognition of his 27 years of dedicated law enforcement service.
Who's singing the officer? is
He's
he?
Wilshire,
He is with Wilshire
Wilshire.
Community Police Station,
so he's
And-
been the senior lead for Arlington.
27 years.
Well, right, but Arlington Heights and previously Angeles Vista before they became Olympic.
Uh-huh.
So he was my senior lead
From back in the day.
way back in the day.
And we asked Raheem about creating a certificate. I haven't followed up on that. But what is your feeling on presenting or forwarding a certificate or letter of recognition for this officer? And you say you know him.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's
Okay.
been I mean, unlike Southwest Division where they seem to move people around all the time, Danny Chavez is Olympic and Roditis is
Roditis, okay.
Yeah, is Arlington Heights forever, both of them forever.
Okay,
So
Can I
I,
say that when it came to certificates, it used to be that CD10 would do those. They do some really nice service ones, even for the service people that you're talking about. Instead of, they have these real nice with the leather folder
mhm,
and all that. And that's what I think that we should build a more of a mutual relationship with CD10 and extend them to doing those types of things.
thank you.
Yes, that.
Yeah, just so you know, I also received that,
Okay,
and this, because I've been getting the info,
oh yes, I see your name is on here.
yeah, they kind of got lost. And I talked to the lady, the sergeant who's handling that, and I recommended CD10, she said we already reached out to CD10.
Okay,
So they're gonna.
so they're reaching out to CD10 and to us as the neighborhood council. Okay, okay.
and I would like to say out loud, if anyone on our Zoom call has a question, just please raise your hand. It's difficult when you ask the question in the chat with this hybrid situation because we're not watching the chat. So
Oh, and Donna put up her hand.
Yes, and Aisha had asked, in chat, how has he contributed to Jefferson Park? And the answer is, he probably has not, because he was north of the freeway his whole career.
Okay, Donna?
Yes, Officer Slow Roditis, as Laura said, has been there forever, and he is an excellent community support. Even though we're south of the freeway, I could reach out to him regarding issues that were happening at the Washington Square area, at the schools north of the freeway, at the library. And he got right back to me and took care, worked with, reached back, and dealt with it on a regular basis. Even though he was out of Wilshire and I'm technically a Southwest. I'm planning on doing a certificate from West Adams Avenues for him.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. All right, so I will get with Raheem.
Because it'd be nice to have a certificate template, because because that same certificate template can be for the 4 people we're.
That's true.
You know,
That's
and
true.
anybody else in the
Okay.
future.
All right, so let's see, let me put myself down here so I'll know I'm following up on that. And anybody else have a comment on it? No? Okay, then E-Blast announcing UNNC vacancies. Has that come out?
It has not, so I was waiting to find out tonight. There's been some back and forth over the last 2 years about whether we should have a portal on the website to accept the applications. In the past, we do the blast, but the request is that they contact the president, I think for vetting, and then the president sends them the application. So updating, one thing Raheem did is he updated the application, so it's a single application instead of, we were just juggling the applications. Now we have a single application, but it has different parts, so you choose which one you're applying for. And at one moment in time, there was a spot on the website, I don't know if it's buried deep and if it was easy to bring back, but I didn't feel comfortable just asking our website person to bring it back without talking about it here tonight. So which do we think is better, have them request an application or have them just go to the portal and do it? They still would have to send the application to the president either way.
Just go do it. Why put in an extra step?
Okay,
And it would come to me?
they still would need to send it to you, yes.
Okay. And it would come to me under UNNC at president?
We
Or
could,
president at UNNC, whatever?
or we could have them send it to paula.southern@unnc.org.
Okay,
Yeah, we could send it to the president.
okay.
I mean, whatever is.
I haven't started using that email yet, and I need to get information on how to access it.
Right, and I didn't reach Greg over the weekend. Because
Okay,
I know he must have a whole package to give to you.
yes, and I'm
So-
waiting for information from Greg, passwords and whatever. I don't have that yet.
Can
So,
send
okay.
it,
Okay, so the portal on the UNN website would be an additional connection to the application?
Well, what it would be is if I send out the e-blast, instead of saying, write the president to request an application,
Yeah,
I would do, here's the link
yes.
to the portal where you'll find the application.
Mhm.
And it would still say, you'll need to fill it out and send it to.
Mhm.
It still would have to go to
Okay,
the
yeah.
president.
I think that's good, because if we're working through like getting folks involved, I think you
Yes.
wanna make it as accessible
simple.
as possible. So if you
Yes.
put an extra step in there and say, well, you have to reach out and request it and then come back, like that feels like an extra step.
Right.
So for folks that are interested, they can just go look at it, check it out,
Okay.
and then fill it out from there.
Is there any way that they can fill it out and then e-submit it? I mean, could we have that?
I don't know, that's a question for Ann, but submit it to where?
Well,
Yeah.
to Paula, and what they're gonna do now is fill it out,
And send it to me.
scan it, then send it to
Well,
her.
is
You know,
it, or
so
are
I'm
they,
just saying, just
no,
fill it
I
out, just
mean,
email it.
don't you fill it out and save it as a PDF
And then send it
it?
to me, don't have to scan it.
I don't
they're gonna fill it out online.
Yeah,
And then just forward
it's a live PDF.
It's a live PDF.
It's a live, he
Oh.
created a live PDF. Not everybody's good at live PDFs, so the other option then is that they print it out and they
Fill it out.
scan, you know, but it is a live PDF, I believe.
Okay, my app was.
Well, yours was with the clerk.
So
Yeah,
I
it's a
feel
diff-
like it was
Yeah, that was a
portal
different,
and-
that was a different app. But, so next question is, you know, we have the standard, it's a standard email e-blast, and it says, you know, here's, you know, you have to take training, you go to meetings, if you're in an area, I mean, you know, it gives us a lot of.
Yeah, it gives a detail of what the job calls for.
It does give that detail.
Yeah.
The question I have, and you guys can all yell at me and say no, is did we want to say something like eager for Spanish speakers, or eager for bilingual, or do we not want to say that? Is that,
What's your
Maybe
feeling?
not.
I know, either
Yeah,
way, it's
good,
kind
yeah.
of, I mean, and the reason I'm asking is, with maybe this exception of Karina, I don't think we have any Spanish speakers at the moment on board.
Spanish understanding. That should be fun.
No, but I mean, Lizzie always did a lot of
Yeah.
translating for us.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So, but on the other hand, it does feel, and we've
Yeah,
never
we're
done that
representing our whole
before.
community.
Right, and these are area reps that we have opening, so in that sense, they're just really neighborhood representatives.
Maybe you could say multilingual. Okay.
Oh, maybe we can say something different, maybe we can say about UNNC, we are a very diverse, multilingual, group of
Organization, yeah.
well, we're not, but the stakeholders are, I mean, we
Yes.
represent a very
Yes.
diverse, multilingual
Yes.
population,
Yeah.
maybe that's the way to say it.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So you would write that up and then
Well,
Pre-
it's already,
it's written.
the standard thing, including the map and,
Mhm.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just sitting there in the MailChimp templates.
Okay.
So, we just kind of update it to the specific
Yes.
things, and what we do now is kind of color code, so we'll say, you know, area 4, and then the map would be, if it's peach colored,
Yeah.
we say on area 4, I make that peach.
Yeah.
So, so you can kind of color code where you live.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and update that and send that.
Right,
Okay.
and we have 4 positions, if I'm not mistaken. Area 4, area
6.
2,
That's
area
what Greg
6.
was.
No, he was area 4, area
Okay,
1,
Lizzie was 6.
area 1.
Yeah.
Area 1 where Davina has not responded to either one of us, so she's just gone, right?
Oh, I don't know. Let me follow up on that.
Right, but I think at this point we need to put it out there. If she wants to then apply,
Yeah.
I think would be the right answer at
The
this point.
4 vacancies are area 1, area 4, and 2 area 6.
2 area 6, and they, one of them is a 2-year term and one of them is a
Yeah.
4-year term.
5.
5.
But I'm an at-large, I'm not area 5. We have 2 area 5. Diana and Christopher.
Who are the, no, she doesn't know.
Christopher Weed and,
Christopher and Diana Cooper.
Well,
and you're at large.
but I live in area 4.
You live in area 4?
Mhm.
Kenny Heights
think-
and Western Heights?
wait.
No, you're
I think
area
you're
5.
Jefferson
Did they shift? Did they
Yeah,
shift?
you're area 5, you're in Jefferson Park.
Oh,
you're
just
the
kidding.
Just kidding.
Just
Like, did
kidding.
you move?
Moving on.
All right. I just have a quick question, and I don't know if this is Laura. It is from Laura. Shauna, an insurance issue, is that settled? What happened with that?
No,
So-
she didn't reply.
And so.
So
we-
here's our issue.
Let me just quickly read this for the team. The insurance issue is that although the city's risk management department has assured UNNC and the clerk's team that the city will provide the insurance, in
For the
reality,
meeting room.
all risk management has been willing to do so far is provide a generic to whom it may concern letter stating the city is self-insured. The city has not provided the actual certificates of insurance, specifically naming the various required entities. We are uncertain as to whether a letter or letters naming the entities would suffice, but so far We also do not really know if risk management would issue such a letter. And so this is important. So now where are we? What do we do? Who do we contact?
Well,
This is just for Gramercy.
just for the
For
governing board
Gramercy
meeting, Gramercy
and
Apartments.
Gramercy.
Yeah, Gramercy Park
Right.
Apartments, yes.
So part of us, what we're trying to do is wait to find out if we're gonna be required to have in-person meetings or achieve quorum in person.
Oh, if SB 411 passes, then we don't have to worry about
Right, because we may choose not to have meetings there, we can just have
Okay.
them here.
Right.
it. Okay.
So, and in the meantime, this is all, what you're reading is in response to the city clerk is negotiating a contract with Gramercy Apartments. They don't want to use their standard contract, they want to use a city contract. And they were asking the question, so this goes back 2 months. I mean, this is an email thread that's 2 months long. So you're just beginning to see pieces of it now.
Yeah,
Because you weren't Greg,
right.
right? So I looped you in. And what Gramercy Apartments is saying, they're fine using the city, a city contract,
Uh-huh.
but they need this insurance because there's 3 different entities that together own the place, and then the city owns the land. So it's a complicated, it's a complicated ownership structure.
Okay,
And their insurance company, who overcame the complications to give them insurance for 4 entities, including the city of LA, it demands these individual certificates of insurance to each one of the entities.
Oh.
So anyway, Sarah Letts is the executive director of Hollywood Community Housing Foundation. She is fine using a city contract so long as this insurance issue is resolved. And it maybe could be resolved within the contract itself. Maybe the contract itself can say the city is self-insured, but these entities are all covered.
and so who is following up on that?
Sarah and the clerk have to negotiate a contract. So Sarah had written to me saying this was a really good explanation. I will use it in our negotiation. But that said,
But she's
then we haven't,
communicating with
but
you.
it's still our money.
But we
Yeah.
pay $250 each month
Okay,
to buy an insurance policy.
Which is
to allow
getting
us-
That-
expensive.
Right.
yeah,
I mean, at
Okay.
some point, it seemed fair in the spring, but every month is ridiculous.
yeah.
And, yeah, I mean,
So I'm just
This
saying,
doesn't make sense. We're paying that and we're not even,
and it's really not prime location. It has to be red spots. If we start, if 23 people that came to the board were to be sitting there, and also we have residents come, where would we park? I had to park in the red. So it's not an ideal spot at all.
We
We
were
had-
supposed to negotiate something
with
with
the
the
church.
church. And that
Oh,
was,
right.
yeah.
there's a parking,
spot.
there's a parking lot.
You know, it's not, there's,
Yeah, the very first month, I think we were.
there's some other meeting places that would be more ideal for the community.
Well,
than
we
that,
do need
Well,
to,
there, go ahead, Laura. They have to meet so many different requirements,
Yeah.
not just
And
they
they-
have to be approved by Don, Laura and I.
Well, I mean, like the public library, so
it's not big enough, that's the
Yeah.
problem. And
which
the hours,
library's not big?
well, the Washington Irving Library room is big enough, but they close really early. And their parking lot's not a whole lot better than the church parking lot. We just didn't get the, Grace didn't do the church this last month where you were there.
do we
But
have
usually
any
at the
idea
church.
when we'll know, the outcome of SB 411?
I'm looking it up, but the internet's kind of slow, but I'll look it up for you.
In August. It's gone through all the committees
Yes,
and everybody's
for
fairly,
it.
yeah, certain that it's going to be signed.
Mhm.
But from what I understand, even if it gets through and it's approved, the governor may not sign it until September. I mean, that's
Okay.
when he signs all his bills in
And it's,
September.
and it
So-
remains unclear, can a board opt for hybrid? Meaning, can we opt to be,
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that's what SB 411 was all about.
well,
Go ahead.
no, well, you can,
Yeah, no, I think it's giving us the ability to achieve quorum with the board members on Zoom.
Okay,
But what we've opted to do is to do a hybrid. So,
yeah, some here, some,
yeah,
yeah,
not all in person,
Right.
some on Zoom. But I think what Laura's saying is that there may be,
they may
something
not
that
allow
says-
that.
all you can do is Zoom.
Oh, you have to pick one,
But
pick
I
a
think that's
person.
BS, and we're gonna do, if
Yeah.
it goes through, we're gonna do a hybrid. We're gonna continue this, it works
Yeah.
really well, because there may be some standing committees that might wanna meet in person
Mhm.
and, you know, still bring them in. But the governing board, if we could get 23 people in here, I think the building occupancy is 35, so if we have a big meeting, it might not work. But a lot of our board members, I think, will be happy that they can join in on Zoom, so
Yes,
for
oh,
us to be able to have the meeting here,
Yeah, I travel for
Well,
work
yeah.
and this is cool, but I don't want, if I have to go somewhere, like if I'm in SAC for work, I still wanna come, like if it's in the evening.
right.
So it works.
And the good thing about using this facility is that we're employing some of the staff people to keep it open, to keep it
Yes.
functioning, so I think we still
We're
wanna,
right here in
we have the technology, so we still wanna do some kind of hybrid.
Yes, oh, yes.
But
Yeah, we already got all this,
Yeah.
all right.
So anyway, it's been a torturous journey that is not completed yet.
Okay.
On the meeting in person and deal with contract. And what makes UNNC different than many of the other neighborhood councils, which are still not meeting in person because they didn't get approval by the clerk yet.
What?
Seriously, I mean, I'm still, or some of them just started in July. We just defied them and met
Okay.
because we had our ADA clearance. I mean, in other words, because we have justification, we identified the meeting place as early as June of 2021. And we've had it in our admin packet since then, and we've had the ADA compliance review and everything's fine. But a lot of the other neighborhood councils, I mean, Olympic Park had to cancel again, they don't have a meeting place.
Wow. All right, let's stop. Moving on, we have Sandra Pruitt here with us to talk about movies in the park. And I have a little,
And
thing on that, but we are turning it over to you, Sandra.
right
Go
here,
ahead.
I'm gonna open up and then share the funding request.
Okay, hi. Coming to you guys from Jefferson Park. Good evening, everyone. So a couple of the businesses, and myself, as the president of the Friends of the Jefferson Library,
Uh-huh.
I would like to have
I'm having
a
trouble navigating
movie
that.
in Leisure Sharp Park on September the 9th.
Here it is. Leslie Shaw,
Here.
okay.
And here, no, here.
No, that's not what it is, is it?
no.
But
no,
yours is on here.
No,
No, it's
no,
not.
no.
Oh, it's not?
East Side Park is the only one on the deck from the area down there.
Yeah, then,
no.
Okay.
This
I thought I saw Leslie, oh, maybe that was just something I read.
That was just,
Okay.
yes, right.
Okay, continue on, I'm sorry.
I'm disappointed that it's not on there. But we are, as community, have decided to, offer the experience of the movies in the park from 3 to 9 on September the 6th. It's gonna include a DJ, some food, and a movie projector, and some games and activities for the kids.
What, you said September 6th?
September 9th.
Oh, okay,
This is her MPG.
okay,
Well, this is the,
Or whatever.
yeah.
yes, okay.
Event funding
Sandra
request.
filled out a event funding request, and it may be that we need to refill it out on an MPG form, but let her present, it wouldn't change what she's doing.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was thinking about that too, right?
Yeah.
So from 3 to 7, we'll have kids activities. We haven't done anything in Jefferson Park family friendly, which we have a lot of new families that moved in, a lot of young children, and they love Leisure Sharp Park. So it's to be one of the first of many events that we'll have going forward. And so from 3 to 7, we'll have the activities for the kids and the family, music and kid activities, like I said. And then at 7, once the sun starts to go down, then we'll start the movie. So it'll be from 3 to 9. And so we're asking for money, movie for the food, movie projector, and the DJ.
And your requested amount?
500.
Okay.
So,
Stuff on that one side, it said 250, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
5 on both sides.
Right.
Should say 500 on
Oh,
both
right.
sides.
well, look,
Okay.
this is Microsoft Word.
So,
Look at that.
we would like
Magic.
to ask, like I said, there'll be other businesses that are gonna co-sponsor with me, but since we need, with us, the library, since we need to get this in before there's enough time to have it presented next month, just want to give a brief overview of what we're asking.
Oh boy, we have no idea what our, well, we're starting over by budget.
Well, we,
Okay, input? Yes?
so the Friends of the Jefferson Park Library, is a bona fide, up-to-date 501c3. And I have that information online in the packet, I could share it, but I don't know if
No,
that
go
would need
ahead.
to. And so I think I should check with the clerk, but I feel that it might be easier to do it as a grant than as in effect, a co-sponsorship of an event.
Mhm.
So that the hoops we have to jump through for events gets eliminated. So, you know, that,
So an NPG.
yeah, but it'd be for the same purpose,
So fill out the NPG and send it to,
Paul Abbey.
okay.
But I mean, you know, so that's, I think we should have a discussion, but that would be my recommendation, just to make it where they're not asking, why don't they have insurance, for example? I see insurance is not one on this. I don't know
right.
if insurance is gonna be
Yes,
required.
co-sponsor gives us a bigger responsibility.
Well, a bigger responsibility to know things.
Yeah. Right.
And maybe, we don't wanna know them, you know, just wanna.
Just want
Yeah,
to-
Right, and so that's my thought on it. I do know that the last time you had, what year was that,
Oh, my
2019? I feel it was
right before the
pre-COVID.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the very last minute, Recreation and Parks suddenly asked UNNC to sign the form for their use of the park, so we did. But let's not wait till 3 days before
Well, I
that.
talked,
I know what happened last time, it was just somebody wasn't doing their job.
Okay,
But
But-
but I think with the Friends of Jefferson Park being a sponsor this time, I think that's a city entity as well, so I don't even know if UNNC would be called upon to sign it.
well, I reached out to Jose already, the supervisor for the area,
Mhm.
and he did indicate that we needed,
okay.
just let him know when we were having it. And it seemed like maybe once he settles down and says something,
He might
he
say,
might say we do. And then like if we're gonna be responsible, we'll still fill it out.
All right.
right,
Is there anyone to make the motion for the amount requested or
Well,
another
can I
amount?
say, can I suggest,
Yeah.
say up to 700 instead of 5?
Well, can I just ask, have you had an opportunity to talk to the council district, maybe to sponsor some of the, and,
Because you said you had other sponsors. Yes. So we're gonna limit it to the request here,
yeah, I think,
or less.
I think for tonight, because it said 500 on the agenda, we cannot
No,
say more than 500.
no.
Okay.
But I'm saying, but if it proves that you need another 300, I'm making up a number, there's two more, I mean, there's another opportunity before.
At the governor meeting.
No, a month from now, executive, and that's
Executive.
September's governing. So, but you should really know by our next.
Yeah, because then
that's
it's
cutting
we're
it
in September.
close.
Yeah,
So we'll just leave it like that.
yes,
just wanna
leave
go
it like
back.
this.
to get more clarification, you talked to the council district, are they gonna supply you with anything? Are they gonna,
Not dollar.
no, but can you
Okay,
just pull
Aisha
up?
has her hand up. I'm having trouble
Okay,
scrolling.
but can you tell us what kind of things they're going to include?
Tables and chairs, possibly.
The rentals.
The rentals.
But not the movie projector
No,
and the, not just the
the
movie projector,
rentals, just the rentals, tables and chairs.
just tables and chairs, not the screen,
Yeah,
nothing.
no, not the screen.
Okay, so here we have movie projector and DJ 250,
Right.
Yes,
but and pizza 250.
yes,
So you're asking us for money for the food?
yes.
Yeah, but if it becomes an NPG, all we're really doing
We
is
don't have to
donating.
have that specificity, okay,
All we're doing is giving a donation to
To
the
however
Friends
you
of the
spend it.
Library.
okay.
Well, not however you spend it. in support
Yeah, oh,
of
yeah,
the Movies in the Park on September 9th,
Yeah.
which will serve, but which will serve the surrounding community of families and friends who will come to a family-friendly event.
Event that they haven't had in years.
So
Okay.
it's stated
Aisha.
purpose.
Thank you for raising your hand. How can, what is your comment?
Excuse my voice. My name is Aisha Leonard McLaughlin. I'm the business owner of Teach to Reach, which is next door to Leslie and Shaw Park. I actually have spoken with Ms. Pruitt regarding this event as a possible co-sponsor. And as far as myself, I was already looking into creating a back to school event, looking at donations to provide backpacks, school supplies, etc., to the families within Jefferson Park. My question is, how can we, as a community, support that endeavor by the front end of the movie night being a back to school giveaway, some sort of giveaway? And what can UNNC, or I can contact CD10 as well, regarding the event, the back to school type event as well?
Well, your question was what again?
How can UNNC,
Can you stop?
How can UNNC what?
Okay, excuse my voice. How can UNNC support the back to school supplies or event, or co-sponsor us in that part, in providing some type of school supplies, some type of, even if it's just some acknowledgement of this is what is happening. I do have vendors that are willing to provide some supplies to the students, but speaking with Sandra, I was already having a back to school event and want to do a giveaway, but I would like to collaborate with this Movies in the Park to create a more grander celebration.
Laura?
although I think that's a wonderful idea, I think what we're trying to do here is for UNNC not to be the sponsor.
Yes.
And that
we're-
the Friends of Jefferson Park Library will be the sponsor, and Sandra and her team. So, and you're gonna.
Okay.
Yes, because as we said, Aisha being the sponsor is a deeper level of commitment. So we're looking at making this,
Well, we're making a donation.
donation to the Friends of Jefferson Park for them to use for this event, but we are not sponsoring it.
Okay, that's completely understandable.
But we'll do outreach about it.
So
Candace.
maybe, so what you're asking is there a way that you can maybe get support for your event as well? Is that what I'm understanding?
So yes, so it would be the back to school portion of that day. How can we get either, maybe UNNC is not a sponsor, perhaps
so
there's some
I
outreach
know that
support.
I know that we give grants, so I'm the newbie here, so correct me if I say something wrong, but if you are a nonprofit, a 501c3, and you're in the jurisdiction, you can probably apply for
Yes, you can
funds
apply.
for that portion of the event, so that can help you get donations for that portion of what you're doing as a back to school event.
Yeah,
That goes specifically to your org instead of Jefferson.
but
I mean, the Friends of the Library.
I'm not saying no, but I'm thinking this is really cutting it close. And we have this request now for the movie night, and what you're asking is something additional that's not a part of this package.
And what I-
And it's perfectly fine if we don't get funding. I'm not, maybe perhaps we can move this for next school year. What I do want
Yes.
is just to make it to be a full, also included in the announcement that goes out to the community saying, this is what is happening on this day. I don't mind, as the business owner, putting it out there as my business is sponsoring this back to school part of it. I'm not necessarily looking for funding. What I am looking for is just for the community blast. And then also
yeah.
perhaps someone on the board team, if you even know anyone that's willing to donate to my organization, for that day. So not necessarily funding from UNNC, but the community blast and any type of donations that can be given for the giveaway.
Well, we can guarantee a community blast. I don't know about the other, but yeah, we can do the community blast.
Aisha, I feel like I might be able to help you with this. I work for a educational nonprofit. So I'll put my email in the chat and then email me. We can talk about it because we've donated.
Thank
to-
you.
But that wouldn't be UNNC, that'd be my
Right.
outside.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's all the ask is for anyone that's has any connections within our own community to be able to supply things to our
Right.
community members.
All right, thank you. So now,
Okay.
I move that
You have
we,
another question, Lauren?
Oh.
Okay.
that we grant Friends of Jefferson Library $500 for movies in the park. Is there a second?
Second. Wait.
Okay.
Right there.
Second. All right, show of
You
hands.
move to recommend
Hmm,
the governing board.
Yes. That's what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I got it.
Okay. All right, so the motion passes. We will move it forward to our governing board, which
Meets on August 3rd.
which next meets on,
August 3rd.
yeah, August 3rd. Oh, I gave you my sheet. Okay, that's what I don't have here.
So
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sandra.
Thank you.
We had another Tree Care LA 2575. It was resubmitted. Paul's not here.
I know the update.
Okay, Laura has the information.
It's not much.
Okay.
We got an email, Paul asked the question from the city clerk, what's the update on this matter? Because they semi-approved it-ish, but passed it to the controller. So we got an email response saying the controller will decide, but has not yet decided
Mhm.
if this amount of money, the $2,575, will be from your last year's budget. They will probably decide by the end of July or sometime in August. So this is just dragging on.
Is this the Chris Carlson?
This is the Western High, well, it's now ours. So what's happened is.
But was this presented to us by Chris?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
this is the
Part of
thing,
it, and it's just to have the actual,
Right.
the
Right.
trees removed and the stumps taken out. and
Right.
the fence
yeah, this
repaired.
is not
But
the
it's a
full
mess.
community improvement project. It is a mess.
And we may lose the money, because if he says, no, that he's not going to approve it, that's last year's funds, and
Well,
we may not have it.
No, we spent, because of another not so good situation where they actually grabbed $1,500, which I'll say in a minute, explain. But because of that, we were well below the 10,000, so if, this would be in our rollover either way.
Okay.
So we're not losing that money, but we lost $1,500. And the $1,500 that we lost, at literally on the Thursday before so 29th of June, all of us got an email, we may not have understood it, was that they removed $1,500 because it was sitting around waiting to pay our graphic artists who did the work on the rebranding campaign the year before.
Dear.
And because they never reached a contract agreement, they basically sent that money back to the general fund. So it's a real problem because he actually did the work. And I feel that the city is now at risk that he's gonna make a claim anyway, and there's no money because the money was sent back to the general fund. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. There's a big ethics issue.
The ethics,
Well,
The ethics-
I have a couple of issues that when you would see the monthly financial statement
Right.
from Paul, that was never shown that it was
Correct.
still outstanding, that there was $1,500 still.
Yeah, it
Sitting
didn't,
there.
yeah, it
Still
wasn't
sitting there.
obvious at all.
Okay,
No, I guess we could say it wasn't obvious.
okay.
No,
There's
they've
another way.
admitted that there's a better, in some of our emails, they finally admitted, oh, yeah, that's a good idea to show it differently. So they didn't show it as money that could go away.
Okay,
So-
can,
Yeah, no, I don't
That's
have
it.
anything else to add.
Right, so the why I say unethical is because we did a scope of work, it was approved, he was paid the first half. Then the second half, all of a sudden, somebody somewhere in the city decided that they had to have a contract. So after the work was done retroactively, they created a contract and said they wouldn't pay him unless he signed the contract. But the contract,
So then all of those, sorry, Laura.
yeah, and basically the city's contract was to acquire the copyright.
Oh,
And that's like, federal law gives the creator the copyright.
right.
And in California, you're not supposed to be doing a work made for hire unless the person's actually an employee, which he was not. So, and this was after the fact. So, I mean, it's all, I say unethical because you don't negotiate a contract after the fact.
the work is already done.
It does. So I feel this is open, I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do. I was not involved in any of this. This caught me by surprise.
Catching us all by surprise.
Yeah.
So, who can this be brought to?
Well, I mentioned it to Vanessa Serrano since she was so kind as to attend our meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, nobody should retroactively do a contract. So I feel that that's the person we
Okay,
should be addressing this
let's
to.
reach out to
with-
her.
Yeah.
Okay,
When you say let's, or do you mean you, or do you mean?
I mean me,
Okay.
after I speak with Laura, but I mean me, yeah. Okay, so this, second half of the work, but that was just the first half of the work.
Yeah,
The trees, we're back on the trees.
We're back on the trees.
Yeah,
So, yes, so we did a vote, on June,
thanks, Sandra.
thank you, on June 1st to pay the company that would be removing the trees and the tree stumps.
Right.
Moving the falling down vines and, doing the stuff to essentially prepare the freeway side of 21st Street in Western Heights for phase 2, which would be plantings, right? So I'm understanding, and that was to be a different company. That'd be a company that you acquire trees from. And then Western Heights was gonna put in some money too. So this was just a payment to the company doing removals. But it requires, among other things, a permit to do the removals. And as far as I know, Western Heights has not even gotten the permit to do the removals yet.
But work has been done. Oh, no work has been done.
No work has been done on this.
And it's just as well, because they're still waiting to see the controllers when they approve it.
Okay,
So,
Right.
all right,
So
so we're
this
just
is-
waiting.
Right, so to me, the biggest issue here is several, but we proceeded on this with an assumption that we had more money than we did, so we were suddenly wanting to spend money to
Right,
spend
at the
down
end.
at the end
Yes.
of the year, and in fact, we had less money than we thought we had because
Yeah.
of the way the portal shows money. We'll work on that this year.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that we actually have
The money too.
to do a whole $5,000 or $6,000 project.
oh, we had our rollover was $7,000.
Well, we do, but is that really how we want, I mean, I
mean,
know
it's kind
it
of-
feels unethical on our part
Right,
if we
especially since we
don't.
voted on it, we said that we would
Right.
do
We
it.
said we did.
Yeah, so.
But technically what we'll have to do, either way, when Chris is finally back, because she came back, but why she didn't take her test is that she's been on a adventure, and she's leaving again or has left to go out of town. So she's not really handling this. Hopefully she'll be back in time for the board meeting, but, I don't think the vote on phase 2 of this needs to happen in August. I think it'll be
No.
the September meeting.
Yeah.
No, we haven't even done part 1.
Right.
Okay, we are at 8:14. Let's go to committee reports, starting with planning and zoning. Is there anything for planning and zoning?
Yes, You have it in your inbox, a letter that John drafted for the hearing that's this
Oh,
Thursday.
yes.
And so,
Oh,
had you
know,
read it?
And I filed it away. It was a very lovely letter.
Okay, is that a yes, is that a yes for you?
Yes, I signed it, yes.
Well, he signed it for you.
Okay. But we
It's not-
agreed to
it's not up
the,
there.
we agreed to
Right, but
the
he needs
letter.
to know, can he submit the letter?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Okay, public safety.
Well, I
oh,
was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say, so we have coming up this week, a couple of agenda items that sort of have a theme that relates to historic property, weirdly enough. And,
Time
well-
to feed the cats.
okay, so anyway, we have a meeting tomorrow night with
Oh,
3 agenda items, of which one will certainly need to come to the board. Okay, so CD10 nominated 1802 Crenshaw as a historic cultural monument.
Okay.
So one of the things we do is review those draft nominations and then determine if we're in support or not. Because this is a council district 10 nomination, they will want to know what the neighborhood council thinks. I don't know what the neighborhood council is going to think right at this moment in time. It's not in the agenda packet. That's for tomorrow night. So, but that will need to be on the August agenda probably.
Okay. Moving on, public safety, emergency preparedness. Was there anything to say?
But hey, did you skip me already? Am I on here? Did she skip me, Laura?
Where?
Well,
are
the
you?
protocols and,
Oh, yeah, we're back a little bit. Oh, sorry.
Which committee?
We had funding
The,
requests,
well, we
and the
have-
next thing is committee.
yes, and if you see the sort of
So
tagline,
what were you speaking of?
protocols.
So I would just, as we move forward, we know in August, September, we're going to re-announce all of the available committee chairs.
Mm-hmm.
There's some that are vacant now, some that want to be reactivated. Donna Jones and I are gonna step down from Recreation and Parks, so we're probably gonna need a new chairperson for that. And my question is, and suggestion is that as we assign or people volunteer to chair the meetings, that they understand that there's an element of technology that they're going to have to either do or have a partner with to help them maintain. So I don't have to be here 3 nights a week.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
But this is very easy plug and play. I mean, really, once we determine that we're gonna be here, all you do is I have some really simple instructions. You just pull out the laptop, you turn on the TV, you log into Zoom, and you're ready to go. So it's very,
And you bring your
you
Thing
can
on a
bring your
flash
flash
drive.
drive, or you can go to the internet, go to the UNNC calendar and download it, however. But the point I'm trying to make is that all the chair people need to know that, not talking about you particularly, Paul, but they need
Well, I
to know,
should too.
yeah, that they're gonna have to be able to manage their meeting. The
Okay,
technology that comes with their meeting.
okay, or have somebody on the
Right,
committee that.
Yeah.
right, they-
And it's,
Now,
and I'm
my
willing to
question-
spend time to train people, it's
Okay.
very, I'm not gonna abandon it.
And so we're gonna get to a point where they're going to, they bring their own laptop?
No, this is a.
Okay,
UNNC
that we have
owns-
this, and we're trusting all these various people to do this?
Unless you have another idea, I don't know. The
Yeah, I know we
cabinet
don't
gets
want you to-
locked. The cabinet gets locked every night.
right.
And who
Right.
has the key? They all have the key?
It's a combination.
It's a combination right
Okay.
now, I think we're not the only ones that have it.
I actually,
Okay.
I don't even have, but Elizabeth has it, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
She put it on her phone. But
But I
yeah.
don't know, we can talk about that. I
Okay.
mean, we could maybe assign somebody or hire a person to come in and set everything up and do it.
Or have a pool of people.
Right, I mean, essentially, it's the moderator, I'll say, call it the moderator function. It's not really that they're moderating in the sense of chairing a meeting, but
Right.
the Zoom moderator function is to let people in the Zoom room, make sure that we're live on YouTube, I mean, doing all of these setup functions, and then keep their eye on the waiting room. Let people in, I mean, it's sort of all those things, and the chair could do it.
Yes, they can, because I do it for my meeting, I've
Right.
done
Yeah.
it, you know, it's.
Well, and I
guess
did-
my question is all these different people, okay,
No, I hear you, Paul, and I have.
because we
a
don't
little
want
bit of-
equipment being broken or.
Well, we
Yes,
wanted
that's
to, but we also,
Possession
if we,
about it either, because I'm the one who
Yeah.
helped us and recommended, so now, people that I don't know coming in, using
Yeah.
it. I mean, we have HPOZ, that come in twice a month, they were here for the first time.
do they
and I
use
said,
this computer or do
no,
they bring their own?
He brought his own computer, we just gotta
Okay.
use our technology, I mean, our stuff was still open and vulnerable,
Uh-huh.
but I had to kind of let that go, because what do? I can't stay here, and
Right.
you know, we
Okay.
have to trust that the people here have the same objective.
Okay.
We just have a
Right,
good
As we
meeting.
just talked about. Okay.
right,
I mean,
so,
Sarah, what do you think? I mean,
I mean, we have to have some sort of trust, so.
Yeah. Well, maybe,
well, we have also staff.
Wait a minute, go ahead, Candace.
I was gonna say, so maybe this whole idea of Zoom moderator, like
Mhm.
each committee just has a Zoom moderator. So then, to say you have like 6 committees, then you'll have 6 people on each committee, chair or not, that are responsible. So then it's not like a free-for-all, whoever knows at this time does it, like you'll have a appointed point person to be the tech person for each.
Right, we need a tech person
Yeah.
for each committee.
Right, but the chair should be the person who brings their friend, I mean, it could be their spouse, I mean, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to be a board member.
well,
I was
Laura's
thinking
also
that to
thinking-
alleviate the issue of the trust issue, like
Yeah.
not to mess up stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
Then,
I-
then you
I-
have
I'm
6
letting
point,
that go.
yeah, you have 6, so yeah, you have however many
Okay,
committees, point
Teresa and I
person.
are also learning to let various things go.
Right. I mean, Laura wants to
You
have
got
another
to.
person because she's finding it difficult to moderate
And,
and to
No,
chair.
and it is hard.
well, Teresa doesn't have the difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, my belief, Recs and Parks is not as, you know.
Well, planning and zoning,
As hard as planning
we
and
had
zoning.
a challenging meeting a couple of planning and zoning meetings ago, and I mean, very
Yeah, and you
challenging,
need
and
to
I
be
did
trained
not do a
In the
good,
meeting.
but I didn't do a great job of handling the challenging conversation, because I
And
was also
can
doing
this be done from Zoom, or does
Well,
the
if-
person have to be in that room?
Oh,
What we think, but we haven't tried it out,
Uh-huh.
is that the person has to be connected, the laptop that is being used for Zoom has to be connected to the technology.
Mhm.
So,
right, but I think in a way you're asking a different question. If somebody sets it up here, the moderator could just be then, by this somebody, made into a co-host wherever they
Admitting
are.
someone, yeah.
right,
So if they've logged in from Zoom, so we could have the moderator
Yes.
there.
Yes, that's true.
But it's still then, the chair would still have to have set it up, to come in the room and set this up. And but that would still loosen up the chair, because now he or she isn't watching the waiting room and isn't watching the chat.
yeah, I just think that that's a unique experience for
Mhm.
planning and zoning. Most of the committees on the governing board,
Mhm.
like this one, we're able to manage it.
Right.
Even if you could let people in, Paula, you see who's raising their hands, you know, it's a little more forgiving. Also, just to your point, we already have to authorize people to stream YouTube, because we stream live. So there's a process I've gone through to
Right.
authorize people to do that, work with our webmaster to do that, so.
Oh, right, so if you notice, when I was starting out, went to YouTube and it asked me to pick between Teresa Masonette or West Adams Heritage, which I can't undo, that's me, even though.
Yeah.
But I had
So
to
there's a
pick West
process, so
Adams
it's easy,
Heritage.
so the technology part is not, it's just really being, somebody having to open the cabinet and log onto the laptop.
Like the moderator.
Yeah.
All right, well,
So, I don't know, I'm just saying that when,
something to think about.
But we need to, so in terms of chairpersonships, and I think ideally, most committees would have co-chairs, because that way we don't lose the ability to have a committee meeting because somebody's
but if
ill
we,
or out
if
of
we're,
town.
the other thing, Paula, is if SB 41, whatever that.
Yeah, SB
allows-
411.
Yes, allows us to conduct meetings via Zoom,
Mhm.
not just our governing
We
board, but
can
maybe.
have hybrid.
Yeah, or maybe we just say, you know, this meeting, I don't know if we wanna give this as an option. I'm the recreation and parks, my meetings are always gonna be on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna even have a in-person element or a hybrid element.
Right, but another chair may say, Tori might say, you know what, done with Zoom. I want to meet in person and only in person.
And we have to
Don't you
decide,
want?
if that's
Well-
something we wanna provide those options to share people,
Okay.
or if we wanna be consistent and say, no, everybody's gotta do this, hybrid, or, I mean, I don't know, it's
Okay.
just something to think about.
Okay.
Right, but
All right.
my point about co-chairs is that,
I don't wanna force somebody to be a co-chair.
no, what I'm saying is nothing to do with the, Tori's here, speaking of, ears burning. Not about Zoom. I mean, in other words, having a co-chair for planning and zoning is really good because it does mean one or the other of us doesn't have to be at the meeting.
Hmm.
And the way public safety is working, it's often Dennis or Grace instead of Dennis and Grace every time. So that's it's an option we've always done. I mean, it's not just because of Zoom. So I wasn't really addressing the moderating component of that, but rather the.
So what would you like for us to say when, for the governing board agenda? Or can we have something?
Yes, I think we should add it to the governing board.
So talk about the protocols this month and then do the chair selection in September?
And
Because again, in the bylaws, we do have to
and
vote
we'll
on chairs.
name it meeting technology.
No,
And do we wanna wait until we know what's gonna happen with SB 411?
Oh boy, well, our next meeting is August and that's gonna be like September,
Right.
but we can be,
Maybe we can just have it
Planning.
for discussion?
yes, we can
Okay,
discuss
Right,
it.
well, what I'm saying is,
And-
let's have a discussion in August about, start thinking about being the chair or co-chair of a committee. Think about the committees you want to join / participate in.
Yes, and I wanna
Here's
send
our,
something
here's
out.
our protocols, blah, blah, blah.
And I've been working on this for I don't know how long and I haven't gotten it together, but here's all our committees and I have, so I'm, you know what, I'm gonna finish
Right.
this week and send it out. And I wanted to send it out to the new board members
Right.
because everyone is supposed to be a member of a
Well,
committee.
every area rep is
Yeah.
absolutely supposed to be.
Yes,
And then every at-large is supposed to be a member, and then area reps are really supposed to be looking at all the agendas. And if something is on any agenda that's specific to their area, the two area reps are supposed to talk to each other and at least one of them show up to the meeting. You know, that hasn't happened.
You mean for the associations? You mean for the
Yeah.
governing board?
No,
the
the
association meets.
associate,
Yeah.
yeah, well, no, I'm saying,
Committee
For the
items.
committee.
if public safety, I'm now making this up, if public safety has on its agenda, meet with Southwest, new Southwest SLO. Well, then, the Area 6 and Area 5 area reps
should be
the-
involved in that.
should go because they're reporting back to their neighbors, right? Or, planning and zoning is a more obvious thing. If you see a case that's addressed,
In your
is in your
area.
area, you're supposed to be at that meeting, you or we have two. You guys should coordinate whoever you are. It doesn't happen really well, but, that's kind of our idea.
All right,
So-
so maybe that's something we can kind of
Talk
push
about,
and educate because do they know that?
well, it is in that e-blast I'm sending out, but
Okay,
But
good.
that doesn't mean,
Well, that's a
people-
starting point. That's a starting point.
but, it's in the standing rules, there's some discussion of it in the standing rules.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving,
Okay.
outreach committee. Dolores Spears reached out to me at our last meeting to say she was willing to be the chair for outreach committee. Lizzie, was stepping down and she was willing to be the outreach
So we'll
chair.
Put that, we can do that on the August agenda, even though the rest of the appointments could be later.
And
Okay,
that'd be a good example because Dolores, if she's gonna be the chairperson, she's gonna have to manage the technology or have a
person.
to
Right.
do that.
Environmental committee,
Yeah,
proposed
so-
CIS
Yeah, we-
regarding air conditioning.
Yes, so I put the motions in the chat. So we did this, the environmental committee scheduled, not this current month, but the month before, did a motion to recommend to the governing board that we do a community impact statement on this new initiative that was passed by council, but they're awaiting reports. to require landlords to provide air conditioning in all rental apartment units. So,
Wow.
yeah, big whoop. But basically our discussion was that on the one hand, because this was part of our heat meeting, on the one hand, it's really hot.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, nobody at council in making that motion, what's not a part of it is any sort of funding or even recognition of the rewiring of the apartments to accommodate.
And the impact on the grid, I would assume too.
And the impact on the grid. So I'll have to pull it off of the YouTube to get the language, but we want to bring to governing board. This is really an agenda item for governing board, proposed community impact statement expressing that we support cooling people down, but there's some other consequences that really need to be explored.
Other committee reports? Any old business?
Do I need to say anything?
Welcome, Tori.
Hi,
Tori.
how are you?
Good. Were you just dropping in or did you want to say something?
Oh, I said, do I need to give a committee report?
No. No,
Okay.
this is executive committee. No,
Oh, good.
governing board is where you report.
Yeah, I'm just dropping in there.
Well, thank you. Wow. All righty. And we both have on purple. We were thinking alike.
Well,
Yes, yeah.
hey, Tori, you've got a new hair.
Yeah. Every other week, right?
All right, well, I am adjourning this meeting. It's 8:31 p.m. and thank you everyone for your input. Thank you, Tori, for dropping by. Thank you, Donna, for always being a loyal neighborhood representative.
Right.
And good night.
Good night.
Stop YouTube.
Oh, hopefully they can come in on.
Good night.
Good night.